Welcome back to the Resilient Entrepreneur Podcast. This is Kevin Johnson of Leverage Consulting, and today we're going to talk about 7 things. That's right, 7 things you and your team can do to have a far more productive 2021. And these are quick things, simple things, things that as long as you apply yourself, I guarantee you will see a difference even within a couple days or a couple weeks. So first thing on my list was unfollowing. And this is really a 2-part thing. So you've probably heard the sayings or phrases that talk about you are a compilation of your 5 closest friends or the 5 people that you're around the most. So if you were to go through social media or even some of the people that you're around, even in today's world, the people that you're around on a routine basis, whether it's virtual or in person, you might have to really go back and check your list and see, are these the people who are going to raise you up? Are these the people who are going to help you move the needle in the future? So you really need to look at unfollowing, again, whether it's virtual or in person, unfollowing certain people that are going to drag you down, or even at looking at it that way, the people who may not be raising you up. And then you really need to look at that list again and think about adding the people who are going to raise you up, the people who are going to push you, the people who are going to make you get better this year. And however that may be, it may just be that they just put a smile on your face. It might be the type of person that is inspirational to you, or they might just be the type of person that they're just a great problem solver. They have a lot of answers to things. But check that list. So that's number 1, unfollow the people who are going to drag you down and follow the people who are going to make you better in 2021. The second is, and this is quick and dirty, but if you're like me, you get a tremendous amount of email every day. I'd highly recommend just let it build up one day. Maybe let it build up over the weekend. And then take a serious look at the email that comes in. And the emails that aren't going to build value, they aren't going to provide you anything, start unsubscribing. I went through and in a week's time, I have done a massive unsubscribe just because it's things that clutters my inbox, things that aren't going to help me or move me ahead. Get rid of those things, and now I'm leaving room and concentrating on the things that are going to make a difference. So that was number 2. Number 3 is I have deliberately started putting my phone on silent. And it's because if you go back to all the time management seminars and materials and things like that, even from the 90s, probably before that, everything, and I think Franklin Covey even might have been the one where they talk a lot about you take one thing and you deal with it, work with it, finish it, and move on to the next. Don't allow any distractions. And the thing back then was if you allowed yourself to be distracted, it could take 2 minutes to 5 minutes to get back to what you were doing and get back to where you were. So imagine with today's phones, if you have email, text message, Facebook Messenger, Facebook notifications, Instagram, and I can go on and on and on. I'm not going to waste your time, much like our phones are doing. But I started putting my phone on silent so I did not get all those notifications. It automatically goes on silent after a certain hour of the evening. That way I don't hear any of that stuff during the night. But I'm also doing it during the day when I'm supposed to be concentrating on things so I can start and finish things without interruptions. That was number 3. Number 4 goes right in line with that as well, is I have a Garmin watch, and I'm sure some of you have Garmin watches or smartwatches that also get notifications on them as well. And I love my watch. I love it for the stats and other things that it provides me. But the one thing that I have learned is that it has also become as big of a problem. It's become a problem for me in that every time I get a notification, even though my phone is on silent, I'm getting that vibration on the watch that's notifying me that I got another message. And that too is a distraction. And in 2021, one of the themes should be minimizing or eliminating every distraction you absolutely can. And I will tell you the other piece in working with my clients in person or doing presentations, one of the other things that I noticed and actually became a problem was I like having my watch so I can keep track of time. And if I said I'm going to present on a topic, or we're going to cover something for the next 50 minutes, and I want to give them a break. Well, if I'm getting notifications coming across, they're paying attention to my watch and not to me, not to what we're presenting or discussing. So, not all about me, but I also want to make sure that they're not distracted by other things like my watch. So imagine if you own a dental practice and your patients are paying attention to your watch going off instead of you. If you're doing a listing presentation as a real estate agent and your client is paying attention to your watch going off as opposed to listening to your listing presentation. So turn the Bluetooth off on your phone. That way you're not getting those notifications. You may also have to, at times, distance yourself. And that may mean you take your devices and put them in a different room. That way you don't even see the light going off, your phone lighting up or anything like that. But distance yourself from those distractions. I've even learned I'm starting to wear Bose headset periodically just to drown everything else out. So I can stay focused on the things that matter. The next one was, and this is simple, but difficult in application at times, and that is planning your day or your week. And some of you run by very well-designed schedules, but that's not all of it either. So let's just say if you did a really good job of planning a schedule for an entire week, on Sunday night, you should be getting in and looking at your schedule and saying, what do I have to do today? If you just really walk into work, per se, if you walked into work and looked at your schedule and said, oh, well, that's what I have to do today, in a sense, you're walking into it almost like a firefighter. You're walking into it saying, oh, well, this is what I have to deal with. And it may not be as planned as you would like. So having it planned, and usually when you have a planned schedule, it's designed around your customers, your clients, your patients. But what about the rest of the stuff? What about when you have a lull in the action mid-morning? Do you have an opportunity to knock 4 other to-do items off your list? And how do you go about making sure those things get done? How about all the other follow-ups that you need to do with the people that you promised you'd get back to on Friday now that it's Monday? So it's things like that. And so it's about planning and executing your day and week, really just so we can start marking things off our list and saying, I'm making great progress and I'm moving the needle. The last one was a documented to-do list. And interestingly enough, over the years, I've talked to a lot of my clients and teams about having morning meetings as they start their day. And some of my clients will have not really a morning meeting for the day, but they'll have like a weekly meeting that's about short-term progress and short-term objectives that they need to obtain or accomplish. And interestingly enough, I see team members show up to those meetings and they don't even have a pen and paper. Well, you and I both know as soon as we walk out of that meeting, we're going to get hit with a couple different distractions. We'll forget half of what we were supposed to have as takeaways from that meeting. We get a couple hours into our day. We probably don't remember anything from the morning. It's super important to have a documented to-do list. I've worked with a lot of people who just they'll write a list just so they can cross stuff off. Makes them feel better. So even in that respect, it's great to have that. But the other piece of this is you've got to have it because as we run into small fires and distractions throughout the day, things where we get off course, that documented to-do list gets us back between the guardrails, back on the highway, and back to getting things done. So those were the 7 things I was going to talk about. Those are 7 things I guarantee you between you and your team, if you take all 7 of these things and run with it and make these daily routines, I assure you, you will be far more productive in 2021.